It's your floating talking head back with some good news, everybody. There is some addressing of not only D6-Day, but what seems to be some exploits and hacking. We'll get into all of that momentarily. I'm going to read through this letter that they put out for you guys, because I'm sure a lot of you don't like to read. That feels a little backhanded. Moving on, not how I intended it. This letter begins with an apology. On the 7th of July, or as we know it, D6-Day, they patched out a layout change to the Deep Desert which caused several areas of PvE Deep Desert to become PvP enabled. This was an oversight on our development process. This was an oversight in our development process and internal communications. That someone got a scolding, which led to people suffering an unfortunate amount of lost bases and equipment. This change was intended to only occur with the next Coriolis cycle and not impact the ongoing cycle. One of my biggest critiques was the confusion of why they'd roll out a patch the day before wipe. Apparently that was not the intention. We're incredibly sorry that this happened, and we want to acknowledge that this should have been handled better. We've changed our internal processes as a result of this and will be better in the future. Time will tell. We're working to reimburse vehicles and items to the best of our ability to players who were impacted by this. You can expect the reimbursement of materials, items, and vehicle components to show up in the in-game Claim Rewards tab by the end of the week. That's not bad. Not even have to wait a full week to get your stuff back, and that's good. That's good. Okay, now the important part. Moving forward. As we approach the end of the launch phase, we wanted to take a moment to discuss some of the other issues that are happening in the game. Good, because they've been rather silent on a lot of things that a lot of people have issue with. Our primary focus, which continues over the next weeks and months, will be to remove all identified exploits, third-party cheat engines, client hacks, or in-game exploitation of game mechanics. One of the biggest things that's causing the player base to drop, thank goodness. So now that they've gotten some sort of balance in place, relatively speaking, they're addressing the bigger issue and the thing that's causing a larger player drop. Hacking. It's so bad right now. And, time will tell, but a lot of people said that they would neglect this sort of issue. Whose foot's in whose mouth now, bud? Don't answer that. Some of you probably... Yeah, I don't want to know. That was a phrase. You know what? I haven't had my coffee. I need to think about how I word things. What the fuck? In addition, we will be hard at working improving the game, adding quality of life features, and addressing critical gameplay issues. We have zero tolerance for the type of player behavior that has an impact on the experience of other players, and we will continue to focus on ensuring that players can enjoy the game as it is intended. So it seems like they're moving on from the adjustments to Deep Desert, which I think Deep Desert's fine as it is currently. The new adjustments are good. If you haven't seen what those patch notes are like, watch my previous video if you feel so inclined. There's chapters within it, so you can skim to the specific points of which I address the patch notes. But I think it's fine as is. That way they can focus on the bigger, more evident issue of cheating, which is going to kill the player base a lot faster than anything else, regardless of what you guys think. That is the biggest issue. It's not because they changed Deep Desert to be more PvE. It's not because the amount of people that comment like, oh, PvE players are the reason why the game's dying. You're part of the problem, bud. Moving on. We've taken action on several hundred players who have abused exploits, cheats, and hacks, and there will be more waves of bans coming as we identify further culprits. Oh shit, whip it out the ban hammer. In addition, we have fixed the following exploits thus far. Account permission spoofing. Thank goodness. So there was a situation where people would take other people's thopters, allow themselves to go within other players' bases and take their loot, including in the Haga Basin. This wasn't just the Deep Desert thing. That was a huge issue people were dealing with. Building dismantle item duplication. That was a thing. Yeah, that's a problem. Increased damage and insta-kill attacks. Vehicle inventory, VBT, item duplication. The fuck is VBT? You know what that means? Comment down below. Yeah, I don't know what I don't know what I expected. I don't know what VBT is, so if you know, let me know. Vehicle ownership takeover. Okay, apparently count permission spoofing and vehicle ownership takeover were two different issues, or at least two issues that had different approaches. Now we know. Projectile weapon rapid fire. Rockets from ornithopters. Yeah, you can rapid fire. You know, that's a subjective term, but you can shoot out a lot of missiles pretty fast in the ornithopter. So, although people were hacking it to where you could just have it shoot like a machine gun. So, not that it wasn't already really easy to take down other ornithopters with rockets or anything. And durability repair. So this one, I believe, was an in-game exploit, to the best of my knowledge. And people would throw things that were damaged into a box and then dismantle the box, log out and log back in, and then the stuff would be repaired. I believe that was the process. I don't know. I never took advantage of it. This is just what I've heard from chatters as I stream, which I immediately am like, I don't use exploits. I'm against exploits. I'm all for finding the exploits that you find within a game and then reporting it, but don't continue to abuse it, you know? They have a team dedicated exclusively to fighting hackers and fixing exploits. I wonder how large that team is. Over the next few patches, they will be introducing additional efforts to prevent exploits by increasing security on several client-server communication layers, performing additional penetration testing against common attack vectors, that is such a weird way to word it, and auditing our item and inventory systems to make sure they are resistant to item duplication. That's good. You know what else you should do in your audit for item and inventory systems? Maybe fix the inventory bug where people are losing Blastanium and Spice when they go to transition between Deep Desert and Haga Basin, as well as Thopters vanishing. Although I did figure out the recipe to make your Thopter vanish, for me at least. What to avoid: don't get dehydrated mid-flight and then fall down. Once you hit the ground, this is a guaranteed crash. Then you load back up and you go fly out of the deep desert and go to Haga Basin. I guarantee it will crash again once it tries to load Haga Basin. And then when you load up again, guess what won't be there? Your Thopter. However, when they do a server reset, which they do every morning, that Thopter will come back, albeit damaged, but it will be there. So if you run into this issue where your Thopter shows up on your compass but you don't see it in front of you, check the game first thing in the morning. Your Thopter is likely there. No guarantees, but that's my experience. Item and vehicle loss. We apologize to people who have lost vehicles or other resources due to various bugs in the game. Oh, well, maybe I should have kept reading. These events can be rather thorny to untangle because there is legitimate item loss due to game mechanics, which makes it difficult to identify item loss due to bugs. I'm just trying to think of what game mechanic could be confused with legitimate bug item loss, other than base neglect, or maybe fix your sandstorms. At launch, they lacked the tooling and logging to identify and reimburse all circumstances of item loss, but they've been working on improving their tools so that they could better reimburse players for vehicle losses due to bugs. There's a backlog, oh god, of customer support requests. Be patient. When waiting for tickets to be resolved, they're not ignoring you. Like I've said before on stream, and I think maybe in videos, their hands are full. Between the bugs, the lack of balance, and the hacking, they have a lot to deal with. So, you know, in due time. It's only been a month, guys. Their aim is to resolve support tickets as quickly as they can, including tickets that were closed near launch when we weren't... They closed tickets near launch? Bruh, if it wasn't resolved, why are you closing it? When they weren't able to properly reimburse players. If you have lost a vehicle to a bug and require assistance, please submit a ticket in-game and include vehicle type, tier, and when how you lost the vehicle. Okay, apparently start taking notes of when and how you lose things, boys. I mean, at least they're putting forth the effort because they're probably seeing the numbers drop. The development team has been also working to address the root causes of item loss in-game. They've dedicated a team focused on mitigating vehicle and item loss on server crashes, disconnects, server mesh transfers, and traveling between maps. Hey, we love to hear it. They're fixing that issue as well. To our players, we appreciate you and your continued support. We have a lot of exciting things planned for Dune Awakening, and despite a few bumps in the road, we're excited for what the future holds. We hope you are as well. I'm excited for things to be fixed. I don't know about you, but that's what I'm excited for. That's sick. So in short, they're reimbursing the people who lost their bases and equipment and such due to D6-Day. They have a team dedicated to dealing with the hacking and exploits in-game, including duping and third-party software hacking. And they have a team dedicated to address reimbursing all circumstances of item loss, even back to the beginning of launch. That is fantastic, dude. I can't believe they closed the fact they closed claims that they weren't able to remedy at the beginning of launch. I get you guys' hands were full, but just set it to the side. Why closing it is a wild choice, but at least they're backtracking and addressing the issue. Dedicated teams to address these issues, sure, may not mean much to us, but at least we are being acknowledged and told that things are being fixed. Quite refreshing, and I think all of those who are like, well, it's Funcom, they're not gonna do anything. I think my saying that they have to do something because they've got a lot riding on this, and it could make or break the company. This goes to show that maybe that is the case, and maybe they are taking it seriously. So give them some time. Like I said, it's only been a month, and we should be seeing changes over the next few weeks and months. Quite a parameter there, buffer, but they're working on it, so we'll see. Oh, do you want to say hello? She is down there doing laps around my legs, yelling at me. And on that note, that's not terribly disappointing. I will see you guys in the next video and or stream. Enjoy the rest of your day, evening, morning, whatever it may be.